Now let's get back to our region, I mean wider region a bit, and speak about 3+3. I mean 3+3, it's just,
Sure.
the format that emerged some years ago, and that includes uh, South Caucasian countries, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia, although Georgia is not part of it as of yet, plus the regional big powers like Turkey, Iran, and Russia. So for a long time, Georgia is refusing to participate in this format, as we know. But the lately, if we listen to some rumors plus the press conferences, like from Foreign Minister Lavrov, some other politicians, well, low ranking but still close to the decision making in the region, we might think that Georgia will be once again invited and maybe will participate in the next meeting of this format, representatives of the format. So, what do you think about it in general? What does that mean for Georgia? What does that mean for the Western interest in the region, particularly United States interest in the region? And how do you see the further development of all this, let's say, debate or discourse on the issue within our country? Why? Because we have protests in the streets. So naturally, the power of the ruling party is diminishing and it's getting weaker. So maybe that is the moment when the external powers can pressure Jordan Dream government to participate in this format, just to have some sort of international outreach within the region, as opposed to isolation from the West. So, what is your opinion about all
Well,
this?
well, I think, first of all, participating in that format is isolation from not only West but from our national interests. So I don't think that it will help them in trying to project the message that no, we are not, because you, it's sometimes hard to understand that while they've been for years, and especially the last 2 years, demonizing the West, they had this double message, this ambiguity. On one hand, they were saying this, but on the other hand, they were trying to mislead part of the public, saying that, well, this is just tactics. We want to go West. We want to go to Europe at the same time. It's completely fundamentally contradictory message, but they were always trying to do that. I don't think that for that purpose they will the joining that format, which is fundamentally against our national interests, would help them. But unfortunately, I can't exclude that because the choices they've made them dependent on Russia more. Because they have aligned themselves with them, they became natural allies, the oligarch and his puppet government, and the Russian interest. So when you invest that much in the message that I'm keeping peace with Russia, well, then you make yourself more dependent. So I can't exclude that they might make that choice, which they have not made yet. I mean, let me remind you that, there was an attempt by our neighbor Turkey, which, by the way, is our strategic partner overall. But in that aspect, some of their initiatives are not in our national interest. After the 2008 war, Turkey had an initiative called Stability Platform, which included the dialogue of Russia, Turkey, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, not Iran at the time. And I was representing Georgian government at the time at the consultations regarding this format and first meeting of the format, where our position was simple, that we can't be in any format with Russia unless they recognize our territorial integrity and withdraw their occupying troops. So, that's a minimal precondition, because otherwise you endorse the status quo and normalize status quo. Even without Iran, any format which excludes our U.S., EU, UK, West, and brings Russia to the table where it's not the occupation and genocide and ethnic cleansing discussed or withdrawal of troops, but some other issues, is fundamentally unacceptable for Georgian national interest and is
May I
against.
interrupt here? You and
I'm
just
finishing. I'm finishing. And
yes,
now,
please.
if you add to that
No, no,
Iran,
no, no. I just want
in a current
to ask you a
situation,
follow-up
sure,
question on,
sure,
because you mentioned that we have Georgia has a strategic partnership relationship with Turkey and with
yeah,
Azerbaijan as well.
yeah.
So what is the interest of these two countries, which are
I
strategic
can't say anything
allies
about
for us?
Azerbaijan, whether they are interested in that or not, but this is
Right.
Turkey's initiative, just like it was a stability case. I mean, and I don't want to indulge into Turkish domestic politics and their positioning vis-a-vis West and their attempt to play a leading role in the region. I mean, Georgia, if it would have a normal government, would not challenge Turkey's role in the region in context of NATO membership, as NATO member in that context. So,
Okay.
but beyond that, and with Russia and then Iran also, I mean, this is not acceptable. So I will not speculate about the motives of our Turkish partners about that. But well, we disagree with partners sometimes, and this is exactly the case where we should disagree. And if this government makes that step, that would be another treasonous step for Georgia's national interest if they join in. And again, as I said, even without Iran, I mean, first and foremost, Russian presence there is a no-go, and that's why the format didn't materialize last time, because our position was if Russians would discuss withdrawal of the troops and timing of withdrawal of troops, the occupation, and withdrawal of recognition, well, then let's discuss that. And of course, Russians will not discuss that, and that's why that format was dead-born, the stability platform of 2009. I hope the same will happen here, but unfortunately, I cannot rely on Georgian government's